Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Suwannee County Board of County Commissioner meeting for October 3rd, 2023. At this time, I'd like to get Commissioner Perkins to do the invocation and Commissioner Mobley to do the pledge. If you'll stand, if you.
Let us pray. God, our Father in heaven, we come now, God. We come, dear God, thankful how you have blessed us and how you kept us, oh God. From the rocking of our cradle up in this time present. We thank you, God, for laying down last night, God. Waking up, oh God, in victory. We thank you, God, for taking us through this day, oh God. Now, God, we're here, dear God, in this kind of commission meeting. Asking, oh God, that you be with us, oh God, as we do all the things that's beneficial for this community. God, that you have mercy upon us. And God, look on everyone that's sick and afflicted, dear God. Look on everyone who has lost loved ones. And God, we pray your blessing upon them all. In Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, let me just welcome everybody. Great to see this many people here. Thank you.
Yes.
We'll start with item number 1, approval of minutes for the September 13th, 2023 and September 19th, 2023. I'm sorry, September 13th, 2023 special called meeting, September 19th regular board meeting. Is there any discussion, changes, or a motion to approve?
Offer a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Consent agenda. I have no items pulled for discussion. Is there any discussion on it or a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perkins.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Land. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Can we do that in 3 minutes?
We got a few minutes here. I got some time-specific items here that I'm going to have to wait a few minutes on. Is there anything anybody wants to discuss while we wait here a few minutes?
Can we move on to the presentations and
Proclamations if you chose to.
We can do the item number 14, presentation by the 4-H club, if y'all want to.
Don't everybody jump at once.
I can see them looking around.
Who drew the short
So my
straw?
name is Katie Jones. I'm the 4-H Youth Development Agent for Suwannee County, and I have with me tonight 4 of our county council members. We have Riley Floyd, Bethany Roundtree, who is our county council president. Riley's our county council reporter. Daniel Greeley, who is our county council vice president, and Haley Oldani, who is one of our other county council officers. And so this week is National 4-H Week, and so we've brought to you the National 4-H Week proclamation for your consideration to declare this week National 4-H Week in Suwannee County, and I'm going to let you talk to them for a few minutes now.
Or does somebody want to read the proclamation?
That would be Bethany.
And welcome all of you. Thank you.
Whereas 4-H youth across the nation are keeping it green by leading efforts to solve problems in their communities, raise awareness about environmental issues, and make a difference for their futures. Whereas 4-H is one of the largest youth development organizations in Florida and the largest in the nation with 6 million young people. Whereas 4-H in Florida claims 151,000 plus youth members and 7,000 plus adult volunteers, while Suwannee County 4-H program reaches more than 1,500 youth with the help of more than 50 volunteers. Whereas 4-H, as part of the Institution of Food and Agriculture Science and the University of Florida, is a program where your youth learn through opportunities and provide them hands-on experience in 4-H missions, mandates of science, engineering, technology, health, living, and citizenship. Whereas 4-H has connected youth and their communities with innovative research and resources from the nation, 160 land grants, universities, and colleges in more than 100 years. Now, therefore, I, Franklin White, Chairman of the Suwannee County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 1st through the 7th, 2023, as National 4-H Week in Suwannee County. I urge the people of this community to take advantage of the opportunity to become more aware of this special program and enhance the young people interest in their futures as a part of Suwannee County 4-H youth development, and join us in recognizing the union partnership between our community, our county, and our state university system.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I was probably supposed to read that, but I'm glad you did. Well, do y'all want a picture, or?
Yes.
You want to make the
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Is there any discussion or questions of the 4-H, or do I have a motion to approve the proclamation?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Land.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Good deal.
And before we get up, I'd just like to say thank you for obviously being part of 4-H. Thank you for what you do for our community, and thank you for coming here and sharing all that with us tonight and the people of Suwannee County. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. On it down there?
Because we want to promote you guys just so that.
Center it up.
Yeah. Let's move over here and get where the.
Short picture in the front. That won't be me. Turn that in. We all fit? We all in?
Y'all are welcome to stay if you'd like, or you can exit if you'd like.
We won't be disrespectful.
We're okay with it either way. Appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you. All right, we're going back to time specific.
All right, moving on to item number 12, time-specific item at 5:35 PM or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard. Hold a public hearing to consider the adoption of a resolution approving special permit for temporary use request SPTU 23-09-01 by Tina Peavy, authorized agent for James Cornett, to be granted a special permit for temporary use under Section 14.10 of the Suwannee County Land Development Regulations to relocate primitive camping at the Spirit of the Suwannee to adjacent property due to the effects of Hurricane Idalia for scheduled October 2023 events on property zoned Ag 1. Mr. Meeks.
You swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And anyone else that wishes to speak on this matter, if you want to speak, can you go ahead and raise your hand and be sworn in?
Just in case you have a question.
Do you swear affirm testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you. Mr. Meeks.
Mr. Chairman, board members, this is a special permit for temporary use request, number SPTU 23-09-01. We've previously had some discussions regarding the situation that exists at the Spirit of the Suwannee at this time. The effects from Hurricane Idalia had left some uprooted trees and treetops that had been blown down in the areas that had typically and traditionally been used for primitive camping for the events. Spirit of Suwannee has 2 upcoming events scheduled for the month of October. During my visit to the Spirit of the Suwannee, they were in an active process of cleanup. They had gotten a lot of that area cleaned up, and I think that that cleanup has continued Nobody can be 100% certain whether they will get that where it needs to be so that it's safe for the people to be in those primitive areas for camping. So in light of that, there is some adjacent land that the Spirit of the Suwannee has that's owned by Mr. Cornett, and it's on the back side, but it's more of a pasture type landscape. There's not any trees in a lot of those areas. It's kind of pasture and left open. So what they had talked about doing was trying to relocate the primitive camping from where it traditionally is located to some of these other adjacent areas for the events that they have scheduled for October 2023. We brought the issue before our Planning and Zoning Board for an advisory decision to the Commission at last month's board meeting, and the advisory decision of the Planning and Zoning Board was to recommend approval. So you have before you a resolution prepared for adoption by the board approving this request of the temporary use permit for the month of October for their scheduled events. If you don't have any questions of me, then I would enter the file into the record. If so, then I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Ms. Robin Young from the Spirit of the Suwannee is present to present any answers that you have to questions that I don't have. So,
Any questions of Mr. Meeks?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Perkins?
Mr. Meeks, I know, I spoke with Ms. Robin, I know, just for clarity, how long would that temporary permit be?
it will be for the month of October.
Just the month, okay.
Right. The events that they have scheduled, they have the Roots event, and then they have Halloween at the end of the month. But all of that will cease by the end of October.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Seeing none? You want to take that? I think we're done. You want to take that in, the attorney?
I think you did.
Oh, you already done it?
Oh,
You already entered it in the record?
Yeah.
Okay.
Admitted as one.
Okay. Seeing no other questions of the staff, I'll open the floor to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Is there any further discussion, or do I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Land. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Meeks.
Yes, sir.
We're going to number 13.
Item number 13, at 5:35 or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, hold a public hearing to consider the enactment of an ordinance codifying the county's purchase of real property or real property interest. Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board may recall we passed a resolution earlier this year regarding the purchasing of interests of real property for pursuant to in lieu of eminent domain to try to move forward with negotiations. That was my mistake. It needs to be an ordinance for purchases of real property. It can't be a resolution, so this is an ordinance which enacts literally verbatim what the resolution said. The other thing that it does is it solemnizes what's been the practice of the board regarding purchases of real property, which has been the informal process, which allows for purchases of parcels by bringing it before the board and getting it's really been a long day, and getting board approval in order to purchase real property, and it ratifies that procedure which has been used traditionally. So it's that. There's nothing real special about it. It just makes sure that we can move forward in the matter as we all understood.
Is there any questions of Mr. Morrison?
No, sir.
Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter at this time? I'll open the floor to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Any further board discussion, or do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Land.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. At this time, I'll close the public hearing. Any constitutional officer items? Staff items. Mr. Jason Fury. We've got a little presentation here for our
Yeah,
our administrator.
For one of our county employees, it was a secret, but not really anymore. But yeah, the FRPA, the Florida Recreation and Park Association, this year at our conference, we were going to be down there, and former director was down there, I think, for a half a day and got called back to duty here for the hurricane. But they were going to honor him down there this year with an award. And so we just felt like it would be a good opportunity to let that present tonight to the audience and to the board. So if you don't mind, I'll just play a short video and then go from there.
Thank you.
All right. Are they going to see my password, Eric?
Hopefully not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, it's not, Vicky. Sorry, this is probably not very professional, but.
We are pleased to present the 2023 Florida Recreation and Park Association Awards. Each year, we are honored to take the time to celebrate the exceptional programs, places, and people that make up the park and recreation profession throughout the state. You all make an immeasurable impact each and every day in your communities, and we are grateful to have the ability to observe some of these publicly. We now proudly present the 2023 FRPA Awards. Award recipients, please make your way to the front as your award is announced. FRPA's Lifetime Award recognizes true lifetime service to the Florida Recreation and Park Association and the Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services profession. This year, we are honored to have the opportunity to recognize two incredibly deserving individuals who were nominated and selected to receive this prestigious award. Having moved from a small town to the big city, this winner returned to his hometown to begin his new career as the recreation director. Little did he know just what lay ahead on his journey. His first day on the job made him question his decision. Never afraid of a challenge, he then began the arduous task of creating one of the best park and recreation departments in North Florida. Greg Scott became the director of Suwannee Parks and Recreation in November of 1988. Starting with only 4 parks and programs, he worked on building the reputation and integrity of the department. Under his leadership, the department grew to 25 parks and continues to grow. Over the 34 years that he served as the Parks and Recreation Director, he received several awards, including the FRPA Achievement Award and Rotary Club's Service Above Self Award. Greg is a humble man and would never tell his staff that he had received any recognition. It would just appear on the wall in his office. In December of 2022, the Suwannee County Board of Commissioners appointed him as the county administrator, a role that he took on willingly. In addition to his commitment to his department and community, Greg's service to FRPA is evident to anyone who knows him. Whether he was serving as a district director, vice president of finance, vice president of advocacy, president-elect, or president, he remains approachable to each and every member, sharing his passion and wisdom. A few of those impacted by Greg will now share a few words.
Greg, the first time I met you was at a fundraiser for FRPA. And you've come a long way with your dedication and commitment to our organization and to the FRPA Foundation. You are really worthy of the Lifetime Achievement Award that you are receiving today. Love you.
Congratulations, Greg. There's no one more deserving of the Lifetime Achievement Award than you are. Your passion and commitment to the field of parks and recreation and to our community cannot be measured. You've been so much more than a mentor and a friend to me over the years, truly been a father figure, and I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. It's so well deserved.
When I first joined the Florida Recreation and Park Association in 1990, one of the first people I met was Greg Scott. In my time in Tallahassee and where my journeys took me elsewhere, Greg was always a really awesome peer and colleague and someone I could count on whenever I needed guidance or advice or maybe just a good laugh. During his time as a District 2 director, his time on the board as vice president and the president, continued support through the foundation and so many other endeavors. He's been just a consummate professional. His work in his community it speaks for itself. When you think about somebody that comes up through the Parks and Recreation world and matriculates up to take on all these additional responsibilities that he has within his community, it just really speaks to his character. I often envy the men and women in our profession who were part of the Abrams Academy, who got to be coached and mentored directly by Greg when we first started that program many years ago. I'm sure that his influence on them has just made such a lasting impression as it has on all of us. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of your peers and colleagues that have had the pleasure of serving alongside you, both in the professional world and our work with FRPA as well, I just want to say congratulations. You are just a true champion for Parks and Recreation, an outstanding ambassador for the association, and a professional that we should all look up to. So from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. Wish you all the best.
Hey, what's going on, OG Greg? This is Justin, just reaching out to say congratulations on this Lifetime Award for FRPA. I couldn't think of a better man, a better professional, a better mentor, and a better friend than you. Back in 2009, you took me under your wings with Abrams Academy, and from that point, you were there to help me throughout my career, no matter what I was dealing with or whatever I was facing. You were always one text message, one phone call, or one email away, and for that, I appreciate all you've done for me in my career. But today, it's about you. This is your moment in the sun. Accept your roses, my friend. And as you reflect on all you've done for FRPA, for the profession, for your agency and your community, just know that you've had a tremendous impact on lives like myself. So again, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations, my mentor.
Greg was unable to be with us in person today, but we did get to show him this video, and here is his response.
Wow, what great words from great friends, and I'm humbled for this award. You know, you sit back sometimes and you watch the stage and see who does what. It's our job to always make a difference and make things better than what we found. You know, I couldn't. I've got to thank a few people, organizations. Certainly, the Suwannee County Board of County Commission couldn't have traveled and done things without their support. Also, the City of Live Oak City Council, the Live Oak Suwannee County Recreation Board, which has technically my bosses for years. A little different setup than anybody else's in the state, but it worked out beautiful. Great people that gave and shared and helped provide us some guidance for the department over the years. Incredible staff. So proud of those folks who've stepped up over the years, did anything I asked them to do, always there whenever I was gone. They always knew what to do. Just so proud of especially Donna Serrano and Jason Furry and the leaders that they've become, and just honored to be part of having them on the team over the years and a great team around them. You know, my family that missed out on a lot of things that, or I missed out on a lot of things that they were doing because of doing things for work locally and state level. But I know that they understood where I was at and what I was doing for the betterment of everybody. And especially my amazing wife. You know, Linda was there always for me, supporting me, and just I can't say enough about her and her commitment to the association also, and also the department back home, because without her support, I couldn't do what I did and still do. So just totally humbled by this award. The folks that came before me, you know, Mitzi's and Rothenbacher and I mean, you go on and on and think about the people that meant something in your life along the way, that made a difference. And when I was president, I talked about leaving the legacy, and that's what it's all about. leave it better than what you find it, and leave a legacy for somebody else. Thank you so much. I'm honored, and thanks for the membership for being there and being strong. The association staff and their guidance and provided us over the years. It's been just an amazing relationship. So thanks for everybody, and pray for us in the storm. We'll be hitting it while y'all are having your lunch, and so keep us in your prayers. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
We would like to recognize the 2023 Nancy Maddox, Jay Bliss,
Jason, let me say something about Greg as well.
Sure.
From the black community and how he's been very supportive of us. Anything I asked of Greg Scott for is needing anything, tents or anything else, buildings, he was always there and supportive of me in any organization I was involved in. And I just thank Greg, and Greg will try to pass that down to Jason. So when I call and get on the phone, I ask for things, and they readily be at hand to support me in anything I do. So I just thank to all Scott and to Jason all.
Thank you. I don't know, some of the rec board is here as well, and I don't know if y'all want to wave or stand or anything, but they've been with Greg a long time, and I know they're proud of him as well. His former bosses, as he said. But Mr. Chairman, you've got a plaque there, I think, if Greg wants to come up and receive, and if you want to.
Just a second, I just want to thank Greg for 35 years at Parks and Rec. I mean, I haven't known you near that long, but you looked a lot younger in the video, so. But just what you've done in Suwannee County, I mean, my hat's off to you. It's a nice Parks and Recreation Department, and I just want to thank you on behalf of the board for what you've done. So, and with that, I'm going to just, we'll go, I guess, anybody want to say anything while we're here?
Yes, sir. I'll echo everyone else's comments. I've known Greg since I was a little kid, closely here lately, but you can always count on honesty and integrity from Mr. Scott, and I couldn't be more proud that he represents Suwannee County across the state and what he's done here, and just congratulations to him, and I think we got a fine guy sitting over there.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Captain White, may I say something?
No. Yes, you may.
Kid Weaver, Suwannee County resident. I've known him for 50-something years. We went to school together. We graduated from high school together. We've been lifelong friends. You have done a great job. We appreciate you, the citizens of this county. Thank you. The job you did on the Parks and Recreation, and now as county manager. We're blessed to have you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, echoing what Commissioner Land said here and everyone else, when I first became a commissioner, there's a lot to learn, a lot of different departments, a lot of things that you got to take in and get your arms around and your mind around. And Greg was one of the first ones to call me and say, hey, let's get together, let's ride around, let's talk. He showed me everything Park and Rec related, crash course in it real fast, but he explained it very well. And throughout, even if it didn't have anything to do with Park and Rec, if I had any questions, like he said, he's been around a long time, so I was able to call him and kind of bend his ear on some stuff. So I do appreciate what you're doing for our community, for our county, and thank you for what you've done for me. Thank you.
Mr. Mobley?
Appreciate you, and congratulations. It's been a pleasure working with you here, too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes. Craig is an outstanding guy. You never see him with a smile, with a frown. Always got a smile on his face. You don't care how bad the situation gets, and he always think of others, put them before himself. And I think he did with his family. But Greg, you've done an outstanding job. We do appreciate you all the work you've done. You have laid a fine blueprint for Jason to come along, and you have trained him well. You're doing a great job. And I'm sure if my aunt was here, she would say thank you, because yeah, but I got along so well. I mean, even though she get on your nerves, son, but
you still were able to always have that smile and,
That's right.
and always encourage you. Do thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Well, and Greg, I just, I'll apologize for Idalia for messing this up for you, but I know you had to come back in the middle of it, and you had to come back to the EOC and run the county for us, and so he wasn't able to, as you can see, be there to get it. So I just want to, I'll hold up the plaque, and we'll go down and take a picture, but it's from the Florida Recreation and Park Association in accordance with its established criteria, hereby bestows upon Greg Scott the association's Lifetime Award in recognition of his professional attainments, ethical practices, and countless contributions to the parks and recreation field and devotion to his associates. So, congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to just say appreciate this heck of an honor. Like I said in the little video we did, and I did look younger, and even in that picture before Idalia, but well, I guess that's a little bit after that. But it takes the community to make things happen, and you can sit here and awards are wonderful, but it's about the community support we've gotten over the years, support from the city council and commission to help support the Parks and Rec and let it grow. But it's the community that makes it happen. And like I said, it's about giving it back and leaving it better than you find it. And like I said, when I was president, I was the association about leaving a legacy. And again, my family, I wasn't there for them a lot of times when I was doing tournaments and traveling and everything else, but appreciate their patience with me. Sometimes they tell me now, don't you have something you need to go do? but appreciate them and the whole community. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Scott.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Burke.
Would you one day oblige us with that suit that you wore?
Sure. There's a story there.
There's a story there?
I'd like to do that more often because I don't feel like I can do that like the chairman does, wear the shorts and sport coat. But
I'd do it every board meeting if y'all let me. But
how about fashion statements?
Yes, sir. Fashion statement.
Any commissioner items? There's none. County attorney items, updates?
Yeah.
Morrison?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think for two things. First, if the board will recall at the meeting last week, we brought up the teen court and canceling that contract. I followed up with the state attorney's office and Judge Griffin. There's no intent by the state attorney's office to continue the teen court program, so I've already gone ahead and drafted an ordinance to repeal that part of the ordinances, which authorizes the $3 surcharge. I spoke with Mandy. It'll be on the agenda. The other thing I wanted to bring to y'all's attention is, as you're aware, Mr. Chairman, I had a little bit of a adventure this morning trying to put together the sale of the real property that had already happened. I had at that point in time an opportunity to sit down with Nina, the finance director, to talk about moving forward with the ordinance which was signed today regarding the interest in real property that we're going to be purchasing in lieu of eminent domain. One of the things which would be a headache on her end, because we're approving, just so the board's aware, I'm going to start over. We met last week, Mr. Scott and I, along with our land acquisition agents over at Pool, with our first project, 84th Street. That's been staked out. Mr. Scott's given authorization for settlement offers, so that's happening now. So what that'll be is once our land acquisition agents reach into an agreement with the property owners, they're going to, as quickly as possible, want their money, and we're going to want a deed. So in lieu of dealing with all due respect to our county employees, the bureaucracy of having to go and get approval and go through the finance department, Nina is asking through me she asked if we could just put money in my firm trust account that's there for that purpose. Everything would have to be approved by Mr. Scott anyway, and I have to account for it. So we had talked about it, and she recommended the sum of $50,000 just to sit there. It's there, so that way we need it. When we need it, I can cut a check real quick. They can get their money. Obviously, all of that would have to be accounted for. But what I would need in order to do that is a motion and board action to authorize the finance department to deposit the sum of $50,000 in my trust account to use for purposes of county land acquisition. So,
do you want that tonight, or are we going?
It's up to the board, but informal or board action today would be perfectly fine. There's no reason to put it off, and we're moving imminently.
Any questions, Mr. Morrison, on that
I
particular item?
think he explained it pretty well.
With that, do we have a motion to authorize Finance Department to fund Mr. Morrison's, what would you call that?
Just a $50,000 deposit in my trust account for purposes of funding land acquisition by the county.
So said.
And Mr. Chairman, so that we're clear to the public, those funds are, one, accounted for in Florida statute escrow account regulations on the county attorney, but also the release amounts will have to be approved by Mr. Scott inside of his spending limits.
There will be two checks, Mr. Land. First, I have to report my trust account every month to the Florida Bar, every dollar in, every dollar out, and here's how the client money is used and spent. In addition, before any of the money goes out, I'm going to have a signature of Mr. Scott saying adopted and approved, because as is in the ordinance that you all adopted today, only Mr. Scott can authorize final settlement. So it's simply a mechanism of trying to, when somebody says yes to a deal, move as quickly as possible, because yeses can turn into nos.
Which the policy regulates the county administrator, whomever it may be, spending limits at the time.
Correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I'd offer a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Land. Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Anything else, Mr. Morrison?
No, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
General business, Mr. Bailey with North Florida Professional Services. Give us an update.
Good evening. I'll start with the road projects. Wadman and Carter, the construction is continuing there. We're nearing completion on that, so it should be completing here pretty soon. Not Southwest, 80th and 139th, the county did receive bids on that. The bid came in $280,794 over the budget. That amount has been requested from DOT to fund the overage. We haven't heard back from the department as far as a yes or a no. There has been some correspondence back and forth between the county and DOT concerning the excess design funds on 76th. Our understanding is if the county is willing to relinquish those, then there seems to be a path forward to be able to get those overages. On 76th, the plans were completed. They were sent to DOT. We received one comment back. It's a minor comment. We're addressing that now. We expect that to come in under budget, and we expect to be able to deliver that here this month for advertising purposes. So that one's about ready to go out on the street there. Express in Branford is advertised. Those bids are due next Friday on the 13th. The Greenway Trail is advertised, and those bids are due also on the 13th. So you'll have two projects there. As you were just kind of discussing, 153rd and 184th are in right-of-way acquisition mode. We staked those out previously. 68th Terrace, that is the road here just south of the interstate off 129. We've completed our survey and redesigns starting on that. Just to kind of give you an update, that was changed to a more commercial-oriented type facility over and above what was originally there. So that's what's being done there. We're going to convert that from a 2-lane road to a 3-lane road. That will facilitate future commercial development in that corridor there. So we expect to maintain the schedule on that. Moving to some of the other related, non-transportation related projects, the fire station, the county fire chief is reviewing plans and looking at possible modifications to that. That's the one that was originally intended to go north of the interstate. The CDBG CV building, we're reviewing the bathrooms as far as the capacities of those by changing that to the shelter designation. And then we've reviewed with county staff the changes in the kitchen and determined what direction that needs to go. The potable water main extension, the county's reviewing those for dates for advertisement purposes. Staff kind of got sidelined by hurricane, so it's taken them a little bit of effort to kind of get back on track with that. But I think that's going to come together pretty quick. The master plan is the last thing I have, and we have a screenshot. We're on track to deliver that here around Thanksgiving. I wanted to show the board. This is a colorized map representing elevations in the catalyst site area. The little black two spots you see in the lower corner of that orange and yellow is the I-10 US 90 overpass you see. It's hard to tell, but the darker area to the upper part of that, just to the left of that, would be where Benderholtz is presently. So kind of gets you, in the area of that. But the biggest thing I wanted the board to kind of see from this is the green areas would represent low areas. So that will be, we'll be looking at lift stations, stormwater treatment areas. The dark brown to the black areas are the higher elevations, or the darker reds would be the higher elevations. Those will be the areas that we'll be looking for our water tower project to be located at. So you see there's quite a bit of change in there. One thing I would note is that that larger green area toward the left is on the existing county property that's just west of the water treatment plant, to give you some idea of where you're at in there. So there are some hills out there and there's some low spots in there. So, but just wanted to kind of share that with you, what that area kind of looks like when you're looking at it at up close. It's hard to see sometimes, but whenever you sit back away from it, then you kind of see how all that kind of plays together out there. So, and that's all I have for you tonight, unless y'all have anything for us.
Any questions, Mr. Bailey?
No, sir. Thank you all very much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Item number 16, set the meeting date, time, and location to extend the local state of emergency. Has anybody got a suggestion?
Mr. Chairman, last meeting we had was on Friday. Thursday would be the next day. I'd recommend early in the morning. There was actually a funeral. The lady that was the first lady spoke on my video passed away.
Oh.
And so we'll try to, if I can make it work, try to get to that funeral. But anyway, we've been meeting at first thing in the morning, like 8 o'clock. So if that works for I don't want to speak for y'all. Y'all are in charge.
I'm good with it.
But,
What date was that?
This Thursday.
That's okay with me. How about the rest of you?
8 o'clock Thursday, fine.
Yep.
Good.
I'm out of town, but it's just a simple meeting.
Yeah,
So that's Thursday, October the 5th. Is that, am I reading that?
that is right.
Right.
That's correct.
If y'all can establish a quorum without me, I'll be good with that.
I know I can make it. Airport again, does that sound good?
Yes, airport.
I'm good with that.
So we've set that for Thursday, October the 5th at 8 a.m. at the airport.
Yep.
Very good. Are there any additional agenda items? Seeing none, moving on to public concerns and comments. I have Mr. Councilman Tommy Jefferson filled out a sheet here, so we'll let him speak first.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. And my comments or questions is concerning the hurricane weather situation that we've had. And I have a great concern and a question. I thought we had an agreement between county and city when it came down to picking up debris within our city and our county. And it's been about 4 weeks now, and I drive around town, I still see the same debris laying in the same spot in our city. I don't know what's going on outside the county. I see trucks in and out, going to and fro, but the trash, debris within our cities have not moved. I have a very concern with that. I don't know how. I know it's between DOT and then this other company that came in and got part of that subcontract to do some things. We started seeing things done when our city was doing some things, because I was talking to one of the young men that was moving a bunch of trees and limbs from around my place. And but after that, it disappeared. So maybe someone from this county will tell us or explain to me. I try to call my commissioner, Mr. Perkins, but to no avail. He's probably deeply involved in some other things concerning his business. But nevertheless, that was my question and my concern. When are we going to see some of the debris being moved within the city limits? Because some of my other colleagues are here. We have to deal with our constituents who look around in their neighborhood and they're not seeing this debris being moved. And then they're coming to us and thinking that we're solely in charge of that. So please, county commissioners, if you will respond or see me after this meeting and respond, but give me some understanding so I can take back to my constituent and to the city, citizens in the city, because our city still looks like it's been hit by a hurricane. And things have not been cleaned up. It's not fair. If things going on out in the county that's being done, then some of the same things should have been done within the city. I've seen enough trucks running around here that you could deploy some of them in the city and some in the county. I understand the county has a larger land mass versus the city, but we have a whole lot of residentials and a whole lot of streets that really need to reflect our city, our community, because I want to be able to take my constituents back, my few that's in my District 1, to let them know what's going on, and things are going to improve or things will remain the same. So that's my response or question or rebuttal. So if I can get an answer, if not, just tell me.
Mr. Scott, do you want to?
I'll address that. basically, the county has entered into agreement with the state, let the state be our contractor to remove the debris. They have contracted with another firm to actually remove the debris. We had a meeting at the EOC back a couple weeks ago. It was clear from DOT that we had a project manager that either the EOC director or myself could communicate with. They did not want to have, if they've got, let's say, 5 counties that are using the DOT as a contractor, they didn't want to have 15 people from every county calling, asking. So the way the instructions we received was, if there's a concern or a need, if they will let, and it's a specific need, not just pick up in an area, but a specific area. For example, we got a request from JL about a funeral that's going to happen on Houston Street. And so I let the project manager know. It appeared that got cleaned up before the funeral so they could have parking for that event. That's kind of how it works. As I get a request, I send an email to my contact in DOT, and I get a response back that they're addressing it, and we go from there.
But Mr. Scott, didn't we, council and commissioners, didn't we all sit down and discuss? And now we got to put in a request to get, we are totally Suwannee County. We are city.
Right.
But, is it, you telling me that the county is more important than within the city? Or are we supposed to take secondary? Those are DOT contract, and then when Triton, a subcontract. But it was my understanding, sitting in some of these meetings as a council, and I'm relaying back to the constituents in this city, that things are going to be taken care of, and debris is going to be picked up. But yet we looking just as tore up from the floor up as we can be. I don't know what's going on in the county as far as what's being cleaned up and all that. But when I look around these streets, and we're taxpayers all over this county, whether it be city or county, but some of that needs to come this way without having a specific request going on. There's a request all over the city that this need to be done and taken care of. It makes our city look bad. And me being a city councilman and representing this city, that it makes the entire city citizens look bad, and Suwannee County. Why can't there be a working relationship that there's some trucks go out in the county do, and certain trucks come in the city and do? That's what I thought the whole idea was done, with the governor coming in, the president coming in, some other folks coming in to help us get this done, get things back to normal. But our streets are looking real junky, and folks are even putting other items in with limbs and all of that. So I need some understanding.
Mr. Chairman. You feel the same way that a lot of the folks in other parts of the county feel also. If you go into Dallin Park, Lurville, other areas, it's even worse than what you see in the city. And no disrespect, but we all just have to be patient and let them work through the process. And from what we hear from other storms, other places, it is a process.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
That contract with DOT, that's DOT serving all 7 counties that was affected by the storm?
I'm not sure how many counties, but it's more than just us.
It's 7 counties affected by the storm, according to FEMA.
Oh, you're right, but I'm not sure how many contracts they have or agreements they have with different counties, DOT does.
So was there a specific contract done in Suwannee County with DOT and Triton to take care of the city and the county?
There was a contract the DOT had with the contractor, yes.
So why are we on the bottom of the totem pole? Why can't we be even, county and, when I say county, Darling Park as well, but I'm talking about the city of Live Oak and the Suwannee County. Why can't we not be even, disperse some trucks in the county and disperse some trucks in the city? to try to get this thing cleaned up and get it done. We got some events coming up from now until January, parades and all of that's coming up. And we still got debris on our streets, and some of our main streets.
The county is not just dispatching anybody. It's the state and the contractors working on that.
Mr. Jefferson.
Yes.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I wish this process was going faster. It looks like a bomb went off out there. I represent District 3, which is Louisville and Dowling Park. I can assure you the city of Live Oak looks better than Dowling Park and Louisville does by everyone that counts has visited those areas. And I just want you to be clear that if this board was responsible for dispatching trucks, I probably would have dispatched them to my own driveway where that debris pile is still sitting. It's bigger than my pickup truck that came off of my property. It's still sitting there. I'm dealing with it as well. It's in my yard. I haven't seen a truck either. I don't know why, but the county is not involved in the dispatching of the contractor that won the contract with FDOT. FDOT facilitated that bid. We have nothing to do with that contractor. Our contact is with FDOT for Department of Transportation. I wish it was happening faster. I wish our city homecoming's coming up. I agree with you. We got parades. We need to clean this up quicker. Maybe Mr. Scott can put in a request through FDOT who could contact the contractor to say, hey, can we focus on the city for the next couple of weeks to try to clean it up due to the events we got coming? I mean, I don't mind waiting out in the country. My constituents may not like to hear that, but it's a mess everywhere.
I don't think none of us have to wait, should have to wait. Like I said, the number of trucks I've seen back and forth, hauling debris, I don't know where they're hauling it from. Because all you guys are county, except for Mr. Perkins, he's county and city for his district. But have there been any movement? You said there's not been much movement in your district. What about the rest of you guys? Have there been any movement in your district? Where are these trucks getting this debris from and where they're hauling it to? But if things are not getting done out in the county, and most definitely not done in the city, then we got an issue. I mean, we need to go back to Tallahassee and talk to the governor, whoever else. We do have a serious issue.
Hang on just a second, Commissioner. Commissioner Perkins, you asked to speak. Go ahead.
Yes. Councilman Jefferson, I carry 2 phones. I'm not sure why that you and I didn't connect. But if you call me, I do answer.
I think you had a phone. You was calling Larry's session at that time that I was trying to call you. It was nothing else. But you was busy dealing with our city manager on some things.
Okay.
So
but I would say this is that, it is a process. And we're meeting with Mr. Scott and others. We're talking about this all the time. It's on the front burner. And we hear about everyone that was calling about it, but they are sure that they're working on it. I rode around today, and I see a lot of the debris still up in the city and in the county. But I did see that in the city, they had trucks on Walker Avenue picking up debris there. We don't know how they scheduled. That's up to the contractors, how they scheduled. But the thing to look at is it's saving you, the city, and county money by allowing them to do this. So we don't have to pay it. We don't have to pay this. So we have to be patient with them to allow them to do it. But assure that we'll get it. They're taking care of it. They're working on it. They're in the city. They're in the city working. I seen them today. I seen 2 trucks picking up debris today. They have came through because, in fact, even my road, they came through on my road and picked up stuff on my road. And I see some other road that they're picking up. I got calls from people, and Mr. Scott and Mr. Sessions had a conversation the other day. They're working together. They're working together.
Well, that's why I'm here.
It's going to take some patience and some time. They will get this resolved. There's something new to all of us. This was the first we've gone into. So we're learning. It was a learning curve for all of us. But they are working on it. I'm sure they're picking up the debris. I see them out there working.
I mean, I'm patient. Like I said, starting out, the boom truck in the city was doing things. Mario, young man that worked for the city, he's on the big front end loader, picking debris up and all of that. All of a sudden, all that stopped because of DOT and Triton. They awarded the contract. Our city boom truck was not going around. I was supposed to have my city boom truck would come on my street every Thursday, Wednesday after pickup trash on Tuesday, and pick up any yard debris, any other debris that I might have and put out. And that was all over District 1. But we're patient. I'm patient. And whatever goes on in the county, I have not been all the way out there to see what's going on out there, but apparently nothing is being on a timely manner is done. We're going 1 month, and we're still seeing what we're seeing. So,
is the town of Brantford had anything picked up, Mr. Clogger?
All we see is trucks going through.
Trucks going through.
But
what they're hauling, where they're coming from, and what they're doing.
Mr. Councilman, there's a lot of debris out there. It's going to take some time before you start seeing some results because they got so much to pick up. But if you look out there at those sites where they're staging that at, they got a lot of debris. It's coming out of Suwannee County, and they're working.
Mr. Perkins, I'm not naive to anything. I know we're a large county. We're larger than some of the surrounding counties. I know we had a lot of things going on, debris from this storm. I do realize that. But almost a month now, and then even folks in Brantford saying that over in Darling Park, but we all see trucks running.
It's still sitting there too. Commissioner Hale, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I appreciate the city being here and us having these open discussions, because just like you guys, we've had questions, and when this board sat down out there at the EOC to try to decide is this something we wanted to take on, we quickly realized it was way beyond our means and our resources. And but that was part of our discussion, if you guys remember, is we wouldn't have any say over the logistical attack plan, if you will, of how this goes, and we would be at the mercy of how this would work. And I think we're seeing that. But there was numbers. I just wanted you to kind of understand, because you haven't been out there in like all of our districts, in my district in the western part of it. I mean, it's like a total war zone out there. And I know these folks are picking up stuff. Mr. Ken spoke the last time to it. I know Wesley's got something to say about it. We don't have, no one's ever given me, I don't think any of the board members have any kind of a logistical status of where they're going, how they're doing. I've had folks tell me they pick up just the tops of a pile and drive off and leave it and come back later. Another group picks it up. Like I said, we just don't know. We really just don't know. But like you saying, events coming up, things like that, and like Greg just said, I think that's something that you could probably help push to the forefront and work with them and get it cleaned up. I mean, I know we got Christmas on the Square, and I talked to some of the guys that were doing this originally. They thought they were going to be in here 2-3 months, and now they're saying 6 months or better because of just the overwhelming amount of debris that we have in our county. So, but I just wanted.
How many yards did you text me, Greg? 200,000 yards already?
Over 200,000 cubic yards so far. Probably about 230 today.
Mr. Wainwright.
Wesley Wainwright, McAlpin. I spoke to a couple of those contractors. There's a lot of trucks that they have that are sitting idle because they have to have somebody monitor every load that comes in. So if you know people that's looking for work, send them to those people, because they're trying to hire monitors that they can lift up and they can observe every truck that comes in. They have to do this to get their pay. So that's part of the whole. There's a lot of trucks that are sitting that aren't running because they don't have enough people to monitor the loads they're bringing in. So if you know people that's looking for part-time work, tell them to go see those contractors. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wainwright, and I spoke with one of those spotters, and as a matter of fact, my nephew was doing it. It's good pay. They are paying $1,600 a week for the spot. They take 3 pictures, give them a
I don't know about that. I think I'll go apply.
$1,600 a week they're paying them. So they're hiring some. I know several people have went on there.
$1,600.
They go to Perry, take the test, and then go to the classes in Perry.
But seriously, this is a real problem. I just this what's today? Tuesday. It was yesterday. I was talking to two, and that's their biggest holdup is they can't run all their equipment because they can't keep monitors to people they lift them up in those lifts so they can look down in the truck, make sure that they're full, and all that. So like I said, if you know somebody's looking for a job, send them out there.
Yep, just be a paying.
Cross from Ag Pro.
But they have to go to Perry for the classes and the training, and then they put them as monitors.
Welcome.
Mr. Fleming.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Clyde
Name and
Fleming.
address. I'm on, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Clyde.
Clyde Fleming, 206 Lewis Avenue Southwest. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Mr. Scott.
Thank you.
I heard Mr. Weaver say that they were classmates. I'm an upper classmate of Greg. I've been knowing him for probably 50 years or better. So that's telling you a little bit. And I married one of his classmates. But congratulations to you. And all those things that those people said, those will be my words, so I won't be repetitive. But what I like to say is that we were in a storm, terrible storm, and I understand that. And Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Perkins, to Commissioner Mobley, I'm bad with name calling, to Commissioner Land and to Commissioner Hill, I know y'all have a great task before you. I sat there for 12 years, but this was the worst thing that could have happened, and I'm glad that I was not on the board at the time, because I'd probably be scratching my head. I contacted Commissioner Land shortly after the storm. I asked him a question. He gave me an answer, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the county has worked very well, has been doing some great things. And he said, Dowling Park and Louisville. Well, I have property in the middle where I'm getting a house built. And it tore it up greatly, terribly bad out there. There's no comparison to the city and to out there. I went out after the storm, and I looked, and I shook my head, and I said I shouldn't have. But I thank God that things are happening, and I thank God for this county. Mr. Chairman, y'all have done a tremendous good job, and y'all doing some great things, and I applaud you for what you've done and what what's going on. But I also like to recognize these counselors. As I said, I'm bad at name calling. Councilor Owen, Councilor Jefferson, and I saw Mr. Campbell, and Councilor Allen. But I was going to ask the question, who was in charge because of the local state emergency, which is the county. But I was going to ask a question, and I was kind of fiery. I'm glad that Mr. Jefferson got it before I did, that I didn't know, how they were working. But my thing was that, yes, in the city it is terribly bad, I understand. And it's, my dad always told me to get some understanding. I got some understanding tonight, some great understanding. And that's what make me the man that I am. I shoot straight like an arrow, and I tell you how it is. You might not like it, but I'm just saying that I'm glad to be sitting here tonight to understand what is going on. One of my neighbors and I and my wife were talking this past Saturday. So I called Mr. Sessions and kind of bit on him a little bit. And he explained it to me, and I appreciate that. Those piles are creating rodents, and outside of that, it's going to bring snakes. And I'm very afraid of snakes.
Dogs too.
And I do not want some deputy, a police officer, pulling up in my yard for shooting snakes. If I see one, I'm gonna have to shoot him. You know.
Get a hoe. A shovel.
No, I got something I want something that'll kill him right away. but anyway, I appreciate you guys, the county administrator and county staff, for how you operating, and I support you to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Mr.
Keep doing a good job.
Thank you, Mr. Clyde.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Keith Broders. I live at 201 Ranchera Street here in Live Oak. I moved from California 3 years ago to Florida to escape the tyranny of California. I came here specifically because I was trying to find the state where I felt was the best opportunity to find the maximum amount of liberty. And one of the things that I think is very important is for us to realize, I'm a retired school teacher, by the way, one of the things is that our Constitution was written to form a government for a purpose. And the purpose was to create an environment where the people's rights would be forever protected. And in order to do that, the Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution. And basically, the Bill of Rights is a list of the things that basically the government is responsible to secure for us. That is their job, and every member of the county commissioners, city council, school board, and every other official has taken an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. And unfortunately, there's a vast majority of the people who, frankly, are sitting in those positions who really can't even recite or even know what the Bill of Rights even are. How can they defend rights that they don't even acknowledge? They don't even know what they are. So what I would like to propose is that we have a proclamation for December the 15th, that in Suwannee County it would be designated as Bill of Rights Day. And we should promote this, and we should encourage people to learn what the rights are, because the government officials have a responsibility to defend the Constitution, and we have a responsibility to hold them accountable. And so not only do the elected officials need to know the Bill of Rights, but we, the people, also need to know the Bill of Rights, because we can't protect our rights if we don't even know what they are. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very quick, Steve Fontana, 21181 144th Street, Live Oak. Consent agenda item number 5. It had to do with the environmental protection agreement and doing an assessment of critical infrastructure exposing floods. I just wanted to make you aware of that. I believe Columbia County, FEMA reassessed the flood zones in the spring of this year, and there were a number of residents that were, I guess their insurance went up or something like that. So any reassessments of flooding, just be aware of how it impacts the residents and inform them so they can contest it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
And just for the board's edification, when in looking at that, it's a statewide mandate that we have to go through and do that on a county basis.
Mr. Meeks.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to kind of address a couple things. We had, I missed my shot in staff items, but
we'll forgive you this time.
Yeah, I had a Teams meeting yesterday with some representatives from the Florida Division of Emergency Management, and I know we've had some discussion with the FEMA trailers that have been set up at Spirit of Suwannee Music Park that we have out there. There's an additional program that is administered by the state. It's the Florida Division of Emergency Management in partnership with the American Red Cross, and it is to provide non-congregate sheltering in the form of travel trailers on individuals' properties who have been displaced to try to get them back on their property. There is a program, and it runs through the FloridaRecovers.org. In my conversation with them yesterday, they asked the question about any waiver of fees. You know, we've brought a couple of these items before the board in the past with dealing with electrical repairs and roof repairs, and the board also made the most recent decision to waive the fees for the total loss They wanted me to bring this item before the board to see if the board would entertain a waiver of a temporary use permit fee under this program for the placement of a travel trailer on an individual's property for this program.
This would be a FEMA trailer we're putting on somebody's property, or?
I don't know who actually owns it. It's a totally different program than FEMA because I brought the FEMA, but it is owned by, I believe, the Florida Division of Emergency Management. It is through FEMA. So FEMA is a partner, but it's administered by the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
It's a state of Florida thing.
Yes. Gotcha. But these trailers would not be given to individuals. The limitation that they have under this program is 6 months. So the permit that we would use in order to issue that permit is our 1-year temporary use permit, but that expiration would be to coincide with the Division of Emergency Management 6-month criteria. I don't know how many of these we will have. I don't know if we'll have even one, but they're going from county to county to try to establish this process. So that was kind of my intent, was to bring that issue before the board.
So would you need a motion for that to take place?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Land?
Oh, Mr. Meeks, this is solely for displaced families to locate that particular trailer or travel trailer
under,
there?
under this program. They refer to it as an NCS, FDEM state NCS program, and that is for non-congregate sheltering program.
So the family would be, or the persons would be vetted through that particular program to put this particular
correct. There is
housing on their property for a temporary amount of time while they were displaced. Their current structure, I assume, is in a damaged or uninhabitable.
So in the flyer that they sent with this, it says your primary residence is located within one of the 16 designated counties, which we are. You have to have a valid FEMA registration number. You have to be a homeowner or renter. Your home sustained major damage from Hurricane Idalia and is not habitable, and that you are not already eligible for or receiving housing assistance from FEMA. So that's a different program from the ones who've been housed at the Spirit of the Suwannee. This would actually put a travel trailer on your individual property, and that would be a 6-month temporary housing situation.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Anybody else have any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Perkins.
So when they will set that mobile home up, a trailer, whatever it is, set it up, and that's in the 6 months' time, how long would that sit there? Would they come immediately and remove it?
It would be removed. I mean, that transition would be, if the home is not ready to be occupied, they have a separate program that deals with moving for a longer term housing. Okay. But this is a solution for 6 months.
6 months.
And they said it does not exceed 6 months.
Commissioner Lamb, was you going to say something else?
Yeah, I was just going to add that I don't really see a problem with waiving those temporary use. I mean, those citizens have been displaced, and I feel for them. So whether it would be the state of Florida paying the fee or coming out of the citizens' pocket, I mean, that's helping our people. I don't have a problem waiving that temporary use fee myself.
So do you offer a motion to that fact?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Motion by Commissioner Land to waive the fees for 6 months. Is that right, Mr. Meek? 6 months?
For that particular program.
For this program, I do not know how long the duration of this. I think that once you would have somebody that is going to be in this program, it would be relatively quick. It wouldn't be something that would be prolonged.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Land, second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Just to give the board a little bit of update of the influx of permits that the building department's had through this month. We have processed 287 permits this month. We've issued 268 of those. Of those, approximately 157 of them have been directly storm related, those being electrical and roof repairs only. That it's a little bit skewed because it doesn't reflect the total re-roof permits that we've had, which are being handled separately. So we can validate at least 157 permits are directly storm related, but having exactly 287 permits for the month of September that's been processed is extremely high.
Good job. Nice.
But just appreciate our staff and the work that they're putting forth. working a little bit over to get everything done and get everybody accommodated. And if anything we can do to help folks out, we'll do it. Just real quickly, would like to just reiterate all the comments that's been made, in regards to Mr. Scott. Like Travis had said, I'm one of those that kind of grew up in this program through our youth sports program, and then I've also been a coach through the Parks and Rec system for about 16 years, and then been refereeing after that. So I've been around his program for quite some time, and it's top notch. And everything that he's individuals have said about him is true and then some. So I appreciate it.
Before you leave, just so the public knows, we waive the fees for other people in the county too for the electrical permits and
so
stuff.
the permit fees have been waived for electrical repair and roof repair, and then the board has adopted to waive the fees for total loss, which we've had a couple homes that have been basically crushed by trees. So those individuals' permit fees would be waived there. The only permit fees that have been secured is we've had some people who have had minor damage but have taken the opportunity to remodel and build additions on. Those permits are not waived. Those individuals do secure their permits. And just kind of clear up one thing is that somebody was a little bit confused on is because there is a waiver of a permit fee, it does not waive a permit process nor inspection. So we had some of our insurance people that were a little bit concerned that the waiver would then leave people to not have inspections on their roofs, but that's not the case. We are issuing those permits and those inspections are being done. So
nice try, huh?
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to clear that up so everybody wouldn't think we were doing something for one and not the other, so just wanted to make that clear. Anybody else?
Moses Klepper, 14581 102nd Path. Item on the consent agenda, item 9, I think that's outstanding. At Kurt's Construction, I think we need to keep them on speed dial. Don't see that very often, $166,000 coming back. I hope y'all make note of that, and I don't even know hardly anything about it. I read the back papers, overly impressed, so I'd like to see more and more of that. Unfortunately, let's see, 1 week short of 4 months ago, I come up here and I pointed out some things that was brought out. It was on the agenda, June 20th, the purchasing policy, and let's see, and purchasing policy, and then there's, I don't know what y'all call it, the bereavement leave, the, I guess, benefit package and all that. I was assured on August 25th in a 3-hour meeting that this would be addressed, it would come back. Well, this is 5 weeks. I hadn't heard nothing, and I know there's bigger fish to fry, so to speak. I guess I've been quoted, and there's other things going on in the county. I get that, but I've seen much smaller things come to the forefront and have been acted on in this county. So I don't know, and I've spoken to several people I'm looking at right now about these issues, and I don't demand that what I think is the right thing to do. I've done a fair amount of research. I've provided it to y'all. You know what is considered fair by the state, other counties, comparable counties. No action's being taken. I expect accountable government. You know, and I've already given my word. For now, I'm not going to address my biggest pet peeve, really, that I've seen y'all do recently. But this falls right in line with that. Y'all aren't, in my opinion, kudos to y'all. Y'all are probably the best county administration in this state. All right, I'll give y'all that. I will. But that don't mean y'all sit back and waste our money. You know, y'all still need to be good stewards of our money. And y'all not being by allowing these things. $2,500. Y'all business owners out there, all right? The county's got a $2,500 inventory requirement. Anything under $2,500 doesn't have to be on inventory, all right? Is anybody there, Mr. Wainwright, could you run your business with anything under $2,500 not being on inventory? Don't think so. Nobody here would. Nobody up here would. There's a couple of business owners up here. Guarantee you they wouldn't do it. I don't appreciate it being ignored. This is 4 months, okay? Next Tuesday will be 4 months that it's not been addressed. I'd really like for that to be addressed. I pointed out during that 3-hour meeting that I appreciated having, and at the time of the meeting, I thought it was sincere, and I thought it was genuine, and I thought it was time being utilized and appreciated, but I'm questioning that now. But Mr. Gregg, he's not here, but I want to know, are we getting a good fair shake from North Florida Professional Services? I've never seen any proof of that. I know he does a lot of other counties too. Great, I'm all for capitalist gain and people getting out and making a great living. I'm good with that, but I want to make sure we're getting a fair shake. The fuel purchases in this county, they blow my mind, the amount of money that's spent in fuel. I know we got to buy that fuel, but are we getting a fair shake? There's multiple companies, Titan, Jim Hinton, are we getting, and I know those are separate providers for different types of fuels, but I need to know, and people I'm talking with want to know, are we getting a fair shake? I don't know why that's, I mean, we've been buying for the same folks for decades. I know when I've dealt with companies for decades, I wind up getting screwed every time when I just trusted them and all that. So, I mean, accountability, y'all being good stewards of our funds, you know, need to see evidence at least in those areas. Another thing that was discussed, I don't know if, I think during Harris's regime, the fire department went to the administrator. That don't make sense to me. As a common person, that don't make sense to me. I trust you five, and it's not Mr. Scott. I trust Mr. Scott mostly as much as I can, but I trust you five guys to make a better decision than one individual on a what is that, $10 million budget, you know, or more. I guess it's more now probably. So I don't know why it's over there other than Harris wanted it over there, but and me and my people.
Well, gosh, man, I don't think we're doing a good job if you keep going down that list. How much more you got?
Well, I hadn't spent my 7 minutes yet.
Continue on.
The other thing that was on that agenda that wasn't brought back was the EOC Center. There was supposed to have been a workshop on that. That was pulled. It ain't never been back. Lots of money there. And that'll do.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wanting to speak at this time? All right, you almost lost your chance. All right.
Wayne Hanica, 11883 93rd Road. Just something I've been seeing in the paper, and I think the public just needs to get an idea of what's going on. And since you're the vice chair of the Regional Utility Group, would you just give us a little idea of what that is and what's going on with it?
Sure. It's just more or less a working group right now to explore a regional utility with 3 other counties to create a regional utility. That doesn't mean that each utility will be connected to the other. It's just they will be run as an organization where we can hire, for just an example, maybe hire one contractor to run all the sewer plants instead of each county having to hire its own individual. It's to save money for each county is what it is, kind of like a regional landfill or that type of thing would be, but that's the short of it.
I just thought it was interesting, and the public probably hasn't heard too much about it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, Mr. Administrator, do you have any comments?
Just one. First, appreciate all the kind words. Again, I already said it takes everybody, not just one, to make things happen, but thanks for the kind words. Just want to bring to the Commission's attention and possible action. 4 or 5 years ago, the current administrator at the time brought forward to hire a construction engineer inspector, CEI, and at the time it was probably the right thing to do because of the projects that were being done. Since then, some of the inner workings of the money from the state has changed. I don't want to speak of how things used to be because I don't want to get it wrong. But currently, DOT and others require you to have an engineering firm that designs, another engineering firm that inspects. What we tried to do internally was to have our own inspector do things. And at one time, they thought that you could get reimbursed by that process, and we cannot. If it's our own money, our own project, certainly we can inspect our own stuff, would be an option. But almost all of our projects are state or federal funded projects. And what we have to do is hire a engineering firm to come inspect and then sign off on the inspection, which is not proper. We need to make sure we're following the rules as they're designed to be followed. We have not done anything wrong. It's just the intent was that you hire an inspector through the grant to do that. It can be written through the grant. And I think we need to start doing things differently than what we've done in the past. The board created that position. I would recommend that we eliminate that position and go back to building in the CI work in the grants so that the engineering firms can oversee that. They have to sign off on it anyway. Again, that can be written into the grant and not be in our local budgets. So again, the commission approved that position 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when, but it'd be my recommendation that the commission not have that position. And I would go on to say that I would have it effective November 3rd. That gives us a month to clean up the projects we've got in the works now, and then makes a transition into another project, another program.
What was the title of that position, Mr. Scott?
It says Construction Engineering Inspector, or CI is the common term.
I don't have an issue with that, if that's the way the board sees it.
I don't have.
Commissioner Hill?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. So, but if I understood what you said, so for each project and each grant, that can be written into that
right
at that time. I mean, that sounds clean.
Yeah.
But if Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Lynn.
Mr. Scott, if I understood you right, a lot of those, whether they state or federally funded projects, require 2 separate engineers, one for design and then a separate engineer for the inspection of the construction of the design by the other firm. Right.
And let me add too, in case we got in a bind where we didn't have enough money to do that, we can contract that service out by contracting with another source. So, but moving forward, more and more projects that we'll be having will be generated by grants and things, especially the ones coming up in the next several years. So, for example, the project on 137, we had our CI and paid a firm to be the CI in the past. So
double
pay.
Whatever.
Anybody else? Any other questions, Mr. Scott, on that? Do you need a motion to do away with that? Or?
It was made by motion to hire the position or to create the position. I think it'd be appropriate to do the same to not have that position.
Rescind that motion.
I think
so. Do you rescind that motion, or
it would be just a motion to eliminate that position?
Mr. Chairman, I move to eliminate.
Motion by Commissioner Land to eliminate the current CEI position effective November 3rd. Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Anything else, Mr. Scott?
No, sir.
Commissioner Perkins, closing comments.
Yes, sir. Just thank for everybody being here tonight, and thank you, Mr. Scott, for all that you do and what you continue to do for us. And also, we did miss the Branford Parade, but sorry, Branford, missed it. But we had a parade, and actually we will come out and support our homecoming. I thank Miss Pennington and Ms. Mandy will have us float, I think, to be in the parade. So let's go out and support.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
They're doing us a float?
They said it was.
Last I heard, it's going to be a
Yeah, I
wheelbarrow.
can only imagine.
Probably right on top of her car.
A little red bag.
That's okay.
Western Florida.
Commissioner Mobley.
Appreciate you, Mr. Scott. Congratulations, and thank you for everybody for coming. And we'll have a good weekend.
Commissioner Land.
Yes, sir. I'm just going to do a little quick recap, if you will. Bear with me for a second. The parks in the room, the Spirit of Suwannee Music Park, I just wanted to thank them for accommodating those FEMA displaced families. I mean, I don't know that they had to open their doors to do that. I see them out there by the road. I don't know who installed them, but whoever did it worked their behinds off because it happened quickly. And so just thanks to the Spirit of Suwannee for allowing that to happen on your property and taking those folks in that were displaced. So thanks to you guys.
Thank you, man.
Congrats, Mr. Scott, again. I'm like Mr. Fleming said, those folks said it. I'm not going to be repetitive, but we appreciate you, respect you, and our community's better with you. Mr. Klepper. He wore us out there for a minute, guys. He gave us a pretty good accolade and wore me out some more. I'm going to go back and do some study on some of those things he was talking about. Debris removal to the city. Please don't feel like the county is neglecting or overlooking any of the city's demands, because I promise you we are not, Ms. Owens. I see you shaking your head. It's sitting in my yard. I apologize. I hate seeing it. I don't know what to do other than, it's on their dime, the state of Florida's dime, and I'm very grateful for that, because their pockets are much deeper than what our county could afford to do that with. We would have eliminated a lot of our resources to do better things in our community than haul off that debris. So unfortunately, we're at their mercy with that. But this board doesn't have a hand in where they're going and who they're picking and who comes first and who comes last. I know that I don't. So y'all just please, and the citizens too, just be patient. Those guys are working. I don't know where they're working or when they're working tomorrow or where they're going tomorrow, but I see them working. And then the Florida Gators. I was going to bring that up.
All right. Hey.
I was going to
end with that.
About that is because the Seminoles didn't play last
night.
Kentucky's a heck of a team. I'll do credit.
I was just going to bring that up, and I'll leave. I'll end with that and pass the book right here. Tough fellow Seminoles.
You stole a little bit of my.
I'll get the last laugh in this.
I agree with you. Congratulations, Mr. Scott. Thank you very much for what you do. And again, to the city council, folks, we're just like you guys, we're scratching our heads sometimes. But I know everyone here, we've had folks get up and speak saying they've met some of these contractors and they're hard workers and they're doing a great job. And I'm sure they're just taking their marching orders as they get them as well. But they'll get it cleaned up. I feel confident they'll do that. And it'll be better. But yeah, thank you to the park for hosting those trailers and those folks that were displaced out of their family, their homes and their families, and basically there's kids over there too, and gosh knows what that's going to do to them, or I hope it's a positive effect more than a negative effect. But I was going to propose the question, not how the Gators do, but how did Kentucky do? That's how I was going to do it. But thank you to our staff, and I know I try to do this as much as I can, and they equally have been working very hard, all departments, whether it be from the finance to the guys out there on the end of that shovel and that chainsaw. I just thank them, and I thank our community for being patient. Like you guys, I'm sure I've received 1 million calls. You can't keep that box emptied out fast enough before it fills back up. But again, once I've had the opportunity to speak to the folks that call me, they understand, and I appreciate them being understanding. I appreciate our community supporting one another during these times. So with that, I'll just pass it on. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you.
I'd just like for everybody to keep the Suggs family in Hatch Bend in your prayers. A good friend of mine, Robbie Suggs, lost his battle with cancer this past weekend at the age of 60 years. Wow. So just keep the family in your prayers. The debris, like we keep saying it, it would have been a financial burden, if not hardship, on this county to have picked up all this debris. And today I was noticing that the roads were getting graded and some other things were getting done that probably wouldn't be getting done if we were trying to handle that debris on our own. Matter of fact, I know it wouldn't be getting done. So we're not picking and choosing. I know I'm not picking and choosing where they go or what they do. There's still debris on my roads, so if you think I got something to say about it, I'd have that picked up, but I don't. So I just ask everybody to be patient with that. They're coming. It'll get done. I get it's unsightly, but we'll get there. Just got to bear with it. And that's all I got. So with that, I just need a motion to dismiss.
Mr. Chairman, before we dismiss.
Sorry, Mr. Perkins.
We have the principal from the high school here. We just want to say thank you all and the superintendent for all your help during this storm and allowing us to come in and take over y'all building. We thank you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So moved.
Did y'all have something you wanted to say?
Oh.
Okay. I want to give you the opportunity.
Jason back here.
But, yes, sir.
If it ain't Jimmy, it's Jason.
Yeah, Jimmy and Jason.
J and J.
J and J.
The state parks, I know they wanted us to mention tonight that they're having a meeting. It's an open house. More about some management plans and different things that they're going to be doing in the parks, West Skiles and the Suwannee River State Park in Itchitucknee Springs. I think it's October 16th. Okay.
You want me to
I believe it'll be here on October 16th. They just wanted the public to be aware, and if they wanted to come and listen and make comments.
Yes, right. That's right. Yeah.
I'll between 2 and 6 on the 16th.
Yeah, that's right.
My apologies. That was on my list.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
between 2 and 6 p.m. on October the 16th right here at the Judicial Annex, if anybody's interested. Thank you, Jason, for that. I sure overlooked it. With that, I just need a motion to dismiss.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, aye.
Aye.